They're trying to shut down Ripple from becoming a bank. They're also trying to get you to sell your XRP. A legend has passed away. And why is BTC so boring? I mean, it holds, but it also doesn't pump. We'll talk price action at the end along.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Seriously, a lack of information? That's the best these banks can do to hold Ripple and XRP back? Oh, I've got news to share with you before we get into that. Your comments, and I got two of them that are really, really juicy. Chino BX says Gemini has already that credit card feature. Yeah, offering rewards, but those are crypto exchanges. I'm talking about when the traditional banks start offering crypto rewards. What else do I got for you? Another comment because the Larson thing is hot. Thomas Sider said, Larson would know that XRP was going to go to 10K, melt faces, and grow men cry. He wouldn't sell at $3. How would Larson know what the future has? These people don't know. You got to remember out there, people like Larson and Jed McCaleb and all that, they've got tons and tons of money, right? I mean, like so much freaking money that they don't even know what the hell to do with it. So they don't have to be like us and time the tips and dips. They could just dump stuff at random. And remember, Larson's bags, yeah, exactly. Him selling 2% could retire all of our families. So, no, Larson selling has me not worried at all. Let's get into that crypto news. Bitcoin sitting at 118,982. ETH is 3713. XRP at 321. Now, what are you noticing right now? We've stabilized across the board. That is key because there was a lot of sell-off pressure. Now, sad news here. WWE legend Hulk Hogan has passed away at 71. And earlier we had Ozzy Osbourne pass away. They say this stuff comes in threes, but let's stop it right here because I know those two were very influential in a lot of our lives growing up. I know I watched Hogan wrestle, Hulkamania Brothers, and was a big Ozzy Osbourne fan. Bitwise is reviewing the SEC surprise pause on their crypto ETF. Wait until you see the end of this. This puts the nail in the coffin, explains it perfectly. Bitwise is reassessing the status of its proposed ETF after the US SEC Commission unexpectedly hit pause one day after granting approval. On Tuesday, the SEC's Division of Trading and Markets gave the green light for the Bitwise 10 crypto index fund. Remember, that's the one that has BTC, ETH, XRP, whole bunch of others in there, okay? Then the decision was quickly stayed by SEC Assistant Secretary Sherry Haywood, pending a full commission review. Bitwise said it was thrilled by the SEC's accelerated approval and is now evaluating the implications of a sudden reversal. The subsequent stay is a new development that we're actively evaluating. We've been encouraged by the constructive engagement with the SEC under the new administration. But look at this last paragraph right here. And this is what we're all thinking. Still, this latest development suggests that the path from approval to a launch remains far from straightforward. Even in the post-Gensler era, the SEC's internal politics and its cautious handling of precedent-setting decisions continues to inject uncertainty into what many see as a maturing market. For real, we had the same problems with Gensler's administration in the SEC. And now we're having the same problems with Atkin. Internal politics, people not being able to agree. So come on now, SEC, you can do better than that. I thought we put in a bunch of pro crypto peeps out there. Maybe we need to drain the swamp of the crypto haters of the SEC as well. Banks are urging regulators to delay crypto bank charters. Now, this is their reasoning, all right? And this is what I wanted to share with you. And then we're going to talk some juicy action, all right? The letter said, and this is from the ABA, the letter said that based on a review of the limited information included in the public portions of the applications, the associations believe there's significant policy and legal questions as to whether the applicants' proposed business plans involve the types of fiduciary activities performed by national trust banks. The suitability of the trust charter for the applicants is a material of question of public policy. Maybe it's time for these banks to start what? Evolving. Well, I get it. Okay. So what Ripple and Circle, what they want to do is different than what the traditional bank trusts want to do. Yeah, but banking has changed, finance changed, and the world moves 24/7, 365. Traditional banks don't, crypto does. The bank trading group said in a letter that there's not enough information in the application themselves, at least in what's publicly available through those applications, and maintain that more examination is needed. For real. The traditional banks out there are just scared to what these big crypto players can bring to the table. Now, I got something juicy perspective wise for you. You know, a lot of people out there are saying BTC is digital gold. Well, I want you to think of what gold is, right? It's a hedge against inflation. It's kind of boring, right? Gold, if gold goes up like 2 to 3%, everyone's like, whoa, oh my gosh, this is freaking nuts. Holy crap. It's not as volatile as the rest of the crypto market. And we're seeing that with BTC. BTC stays resilient above the 119,000 mark while major altcoins continue to linger. Okay. So you're trying to throw a little bit more fun at us that BTC is awesome and the rest of the world sucks balls. Let me share with you a chart, okay? XRP in BTC, XRP in blue, BTC in orange. Notice how BTC, yes, is going up, but slowly and flat. And by the way, this is the 1 year chart. So I zoomed out a pretty good amount for y'all. This is the 1 year chart. So yeah, I get it. BTC is steady, slowly climbing. There are some dips, there are some tips, but look at the action of XRP. So yeah, BTC is digital gold is all good and well, but when you're in crypto, what do you want? Do you want juicy gains or steady returns? If you want steady returns, you could just go into the real estate market, right? But if you're in crypto with high risk, high volatility, what are you looking for? The juicy gains. And look how XRP, even with the pumps and dumps, even with the volatility, is blowing the doors off of BTC in this last year. XRP up 473% 1 year, while BTC is up 83%. Yeah. What about Dogecoin? Because that's one of the other ones that the article lists off is Doge. Doge. Now that's an interesting story. Doge and Meme are super volatile. And you can see that BTC and Doge almost mimic each other in the overall gains for the year. But Doge has what? The extreme volatility. Why? Because Meme is more volatile than the utility tokens in the market. So again, we've got a bunch of different sectors in the crypto market. BTC is digital gold, utilities making its pumps, and Meme is what? Highly volatile, but at the same time, still growing in a year over year basis. Doge for the year, juicy. Not as crazy as XRP, but still up over 100%. BTC, like I said, in the 80% range. Do you think players out there want to be in risky crypto for BTC gains? Or do you think they want to be in crypto for juicy gains as you would see with XRP and other utility based tokens out there? Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin dethrones Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. That's right, BSV in a major top crypto battle. Yeah, this is juicy because remember, RLUSD was launched in December and we just recently, you heard me correctly, recently launched the Genius Act, and we know that stables are going to roar now that we've got the regs. This comes just 2 weeks after RLUSD crossed a $500 million in market cap. Now, the eighth largest stablecoin overall and ranks eighth among USD dollar peg stablecoins. That's nuts. Demand for Ripple's RLUSD is palpable. The reserves backing it are now being custodied by BNY Mellon, the oldest bank in the United States. Nonetheless, forecasts remain conservative. Now, this is where those traditional banks, though, remember, are trying to throw FUD at you. Remember the article I shared in the beginning here about the ABA trying to get, the Ripple charter stopped and the Circle charter stopped? Well, listen to this, because here's more poop from the banks. Nonetheless, forecasts remain conservative, according to Bloomberg. JP Morgan views the $2 trillion stablecoin market projection by 2028 as overly ambitious, citing underdeveloped infrastructure. The bank expects growth to double or triple from today's figures. And we're looking at right around 250, 260 billion. So basically what they're saying is, look, $500 billion, maybe $750 billion, not $2 trillion. But yo, JP Morgan, were you thinking about the Genius Act passing? Were you thinking about RLUSD and others out there growing to bonkers levels and citing underdeveloped infrastructure? Well, yeah, we know a bunch of players out there couldn't go forward until we got the regs. And now we have them. Speaking of RLUSD, I've got the market cap up on the screen and you can see what? Steady growth, everyone. Over $500 million right now in market cap. In volume in the last 24 hours for our USD, 331 million. Speaking of volume, XRP's volume is juicy AF. We are looking at 15.93 billion. That's right. And we're still holding strong north of the $3 mark. So I think a lot of us are becoming more and more comfortable as we print these candlesticks that we're going to be able to maintain that price action. Now, I wanted to just zoom out just a little bit in today's complete video, okay? Let's think about this, all right? SEC still has some internal crypto politics BS going on. So obviously that's holding us back from what? ETFs. ETFs are juicy for XRP along with other players out there. Think HBAR's ETF was what? Paused yet again by the SEC. We also have what? Banks out there and associations representing the banks saying, no, there's not enough information. And these crypto banks, they're different than what our traditional banks are. Well, no shit. Traditional banks aren't meeting the needs of people from today. So guess what? Maybe we need an update. And yes, again, banks like JP Morgan are trying to throw FUD out there saying that no, stable coins aren't going to be that juicy. Oh, really? Because this chart right here says juicy. When you look at USDC, juicy. What about their stock? Juicy. That's traditional finance players getting in. The overall theme here is what? You still got a lot of players out there that are controlled by these traditional banks that are trying to get you to believe that crypto sucks, that it's not going to go anywhere, that it's too risky, it's too this, it's too that. All right, I'm just going to keep showing them this chart. XRP to BTC chart, and I'm sorry, I could put that XRP to the S&P 500. I could put it to the Dow Jones, and XRP would be blowing the doors off of both of those as well. So just remember out there, everyone, when the news seems negative, when it seems like there's a lot of FUD, look at the authors and the people behind that news. It's traditional banks and crypto haters out there who are what, everyone? Like Elizabeth Warren, supported by the banks. Do I really need an outro after that? Well, I don't know. All I know is I just got another notification. This is the second one so far that my flight has been delayed. But I'm going to pack up my gear, head to the airport, do a little shopping, do a little eating, hanging out with the mom a little bit. Hopefully my flight doesn't get delayed too much. Choo choo what? Choo choo bitches.